Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to take a little side trip from updates about our move to Mexico to talk about an important topic that I have been seeing pop up more frequently on YouTube and social media, and that's menopause. And I think this is wonderful because it's a conversation that it wasn't common when I was younger. Women just went through the change and that's all that was said. I never had this conversation with my grandmothers or older women in my family. And even if my grandmothers were alive today, being of the silent generation, I don't think they would have spoken about it to me. So my hope with this video is to share my experience to help other women going through this phase of life, as well as other women like my younger sister, who may be looking for answers as they approach menopause in the years to come. And if you're here for updates about our move to Mexico, then check out my other YouTube videos and subscribe so that when I do new content, you'll be notified. And I do have a new video coming up very soon. So now let's get into it. I'm currently in what I call the gray area. I've been through perimenopause for the last 6 or so years. I just turned 53, and according to my doctors, I'm on the brink of menopause. The official definition, according to my doctors in the Mayo Clinic, is you have to go 1 full year without a period. And I have almost made it several times, but then month 8 or 9 rolls around and bam, spotting or a full-blown period. And I think, oh shit, here we go again. One reason my doctors are eager for me to reach menopause is that I have fibroids. I have 6 of them. And back in December 2023, I had a frightening experience where I thought I had peed myself while working from home. And when I stood up, I was soaked in blood. My doctor prescribed medication to stop the bleeding, and he got me in for a very painful biopsy and an ultrasound to rule out cancer and assess the situation. One of the options that was presented to me was a hysterectomy, which is quite common actually. However, since I was so close to menopause, we decided to manage it differently by putting me on birth control pills for about 6 months. During that time, I didn't have any issues with my fibroids, and thankfully, I haven't had any issues since stopping the pills. My doctors they're going to reevaluate my hormone levels during my next annual visit later this year if I'm still not officially in menopause. Okay, so let's talk symptoms. So I'm curious if you're experiencing the same thing, maybe something similar, or maybe something that hasn't been discussed enough. So drop a comment below to share your thoughts. Joint pain. I'm in pain every day. After I finish recording this video and I stand up, I'll be hunched over and struggling to move for 30 seconds to a minute. My knees, my ankles, my back, they hurt constantly. And my movements have slowed down dramatically over the last 2 years. Ibuprofen does help, but running errands or walking my dog, it feels so much harder now. I used to be able to run errands all day long, and now it's like 3 hours at most. And it's about all I can take. And even sleeping brings pain. I'll wake up with what feels like a twisted ankle or a swollen knee. I mean, how the hell do I even injure myself while sleeping? It doesn't make any sense. Weight gain. I've been a plus size woman most of my life, but weight loss feels impossible now. What used to work in my 30s and 40s, like low carb diets or Weight Watchers, just doesn't work anymore. I have had success at age 40 with Weight Watchers. I lost around 30 pounds, and it taught me portion control. But now my body fights to retain every calorie, and joint pain makes physical activity like biking or walking just makes it less enjoyable. And it's disheartening to see my body change, and sometimes I don't even recognize myself in the mirror. Hunger and cravings. I am hungry all the time, and I rarely feel satiated. I crave carbs and sugars intensely, which I know is tied to a drop in estrogen. And while I try to eat healthy foods like salads and nuts and veggies, I'm going to be honest, I am eating more refined sugar than I should because the cravings are so strong. Sleep disruption. My sleep is sporadic and I am tired all the time. Part of it is menopause, part of it is my bladder waking me up every 4 hours, part of it is having pets who think that 4 a.m. is a great time to wake mommy up. When I do sleep, I often wake up feeling just as tired as when I went to bed. Brain fog. So I know this one comes up a lot when you search menopause symptoms, and while it hasn't affected my work, I have noticed changes in conversations with my husband. I'll ask him the same question multiple times, not remembering that we already discussed the subject. And what frightened me is not knowing if it's menopause related brain fog or early dementia warning signs, as it runs in my family. I struggle to find the right words that feel like they're just within reach, and I know what I want to say, but my brain is having trouble telling my mouth how to form the word and then spit it out. Vertigo. Okay, so this one is new and it's very scary. It hits me without warning. It makes me feel like I am being pulled into the air by my feet and then shaken violently. It brings me down to my knees, and it only lasts a second, but it leaves me feeling like I need to lie down for at least an hour. And some of my coping mechanisms are to hold my head in my hand or use my headrest in my car to stabilize my head. There does seem to be a pattern of when it occurs, and that's when I'm looking from one monitor to another, and when I'm working. It's also happened when I was reclining and watching TV while working on my laptop, and my eyes were shifting between the two. And it's making me hesitant to drive, especially on highways. Anxiety. I feel anxious and uneasy for no reason. And sometimes I just want to retreat to bed or sit on the couch surrounded by my husband and my pets because that's where I feel safe and comforted. I've also noticed that I'm less adventurous than I used to be, and I worry more about falling in other types of accidents. Menopause is a journey. It's not a one size fits all. It lasts for many years, and the symptoms can vary so much from woman to woman. It's important to have these conversations and to share experiences and support one another. And for me, being able to talk about it, even though it's uncomfortable and it's on a public platform, it's still helpful. If you're going through something similar, please share your story in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going for the women who need it now and for the younger women who are going to be in our shoes one day. Thank you for listening and allowing me to share my journey. And if you have found this helpful, please like this video, subscribe for more content, including our updates about our move to Mexico and other topics that I happen to be passionate about. Until next time, take care of yourself. And remember, we're in this together. Hasta luego.